Good morning. My name is Gisela Linares. It is right there. You can spell it. Gissela, and last name Linares. And I work in a pharmacy as a pharmacy technician. That's what I make per hour, which I don't think is really the real salary, because as I will describe everything that we do there, we should at least get paid 30 per hour, I'm thinking, because it's a lot of work, a lot of stress, especially customer service, plus that we are dealing with prescriptions, which has to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect type in the system. No, there's no point or no space for any kind of mistakes there. It's hard. So I'm going to explain how the pharmacy flow works. There are three areas, which is drop-off, production, and pickup. A drop-off obviously is where you drop your prescription. So we need, that's where the interaction with the customer starts. With the eye contact, we have to introduce ourselves, we have to welcome the person that is coming. We receive the prescription, we enter the information in the system, we need to check the insurance is working, we have to check that everything and every field from the paper is filled correctly, like the patient's name, date of birth, doctor's name, address, NPI number, DEA number, which are codes from the doctors, signature, date. Prescriptions are good for 1 year, except if it's a controlled medication, it's good only for 1 month. So all that we need to put in the system, always and all the time. We have to smile. Even though if you don't feel that you don't want to smile, whatever, we need to smile. I think that's why I always smile, and it's just, I'm so used to. But before I go to drop-off, production, I want to explain a few things that happen at drop-off. There are cases, a lot of cases, where people bring fake prescriptions, especially for narcotics, which are the control 2, as I explained the other day. There are medications divided by control 1, 2, 3, and 4. On control 2, we see we have the narcotics, and again, we have a lot of fake prescriptions. Not just that the paper is fake, but sometimes people that steal the pad from the doctor's office. Even people that work at the office, they do it. And but we know actually what kind of medications are the hot medications that they like to deal with it and to make different drugs, which is most of the time oxycodone, especially the 30 milligrams. I'm going to explain that too. In production, the person of production is not just count pills. It's a whole process. We need to print the label, we have to grab the bottle, scan it through the computer to check that it is the correct medication that we're going to count, put in the bottle, label it with the patient information, which is there, and then we give to the pharmacist. The pharmacist has to review everything again, because we are working under her license. Whoever the pharmacist is working is responsible for the correct medication to the correct patient. And as everybody knows, the doctors write very, very bad. We have to try to guess what he's trying to prescribe. Of course, if there's any problem, we always call the doctor's office to verify the medication, the prescription, but most of the doctors get mad when we call them because they say, oh yes, how come you don't know how to read? It's because they don't know how to write. But let me tell you something funny, because when we see a prescription that has a very nice handwriting, actually alerts us that it might be not written by the doctor. That's how we get alert, and we kind of, let's review these exact what's going on. At the pickup, most of the new people, when they come to work as a technician, they go to pick up first. They think that is the easiest part of the pharmacy, which is not. It's not just to grab the medication, give to the patient, collect the money, and that's it. No. We have to verify the patient's name, address, date of birth, because there's a lot of people with the same last name and even with the same first name in all cultures, even Spanish, especially here, only the first name and the last name is used, only one. We need to verify. I'm going to tell some situation that happened to me. When I started working in the pharmacy, of course, I went to pick up, and it wasn't a rush. We was also counting pills. I tried to make everything so fast that I gave a medication to the wrong patient. Actually, I gave the wrong medication to the patient. And I got so scared because we just noticed it in a minute because the right person actually was waiting for the medication. She came to the pickup and the computer told us that it was rung up already. So it was out of the store. I got so scared, so the pharmacist told me, please call the patient, let's try to contact this person, right? I called with a number that I have in the system, and it didn't work. I started crying because one of the medications, actually that medication was a Percocet, which is very dangerous for somebody that doesn't need it. I cried a lot until she said, you know, let's be calm and let's find a solution. So we called the doctor. The doctor fortunately had a different number. I contacted the patient. I apologized a million of times, and the patient was kind of mad, of course, with reason. I accept everything and I said, I'm sorry, it's my fault. I'm really sorry. Nice person, this person brought the medication and everything was fixed. But if this person doesn't bring it, it will be a problem because it's a controlled medication, a narcotic. If it's lost, the pharmacy has to fill a report, and then the DEA will come to the pharmacy to audit, and it is a whole process. We need to be very, very careful, even with one pill. So I'm gonna, but again, the control medications, as I explained, most of the times the narcotics are painkillers, and these are the hot ones that are very, very dangerous. We need to be very careful all the time. Again, oxycodone 30, the morphines, we have to make sure it is not a fake prescription, or sometimes stolen papers, which the paper is real, but it's stolen from the doctor, so the patient is not real. I have a case happened maybe a few years ago. I used to work in a night shift, and Spanish guy came actually to me, and he was talking to me in Spanish, very nice and friendly, which is something else that we get alert to with that. We know that people, they're sick, right? So, and it is for him, and it is a pain medication. He should be under pain, no smiling and, talking. So we know, it's just experience, I think. He wrote dropped a prescription, he was talking to me, blah, blah, blah. He lives in New York, blah, blah, blah. And, well, number two, I work in Hackensack store. If he lives in New York, why he's coming to New Jersey to fill it, right? So there are many points that it's just experience again that we get it. So he dropped the prescription, he left, he's gonna come back in a few minutes. He said, I gave the prescription to the pharmacist, and we noticed that it was Hacodone, actually was liquid and elixir. It was a very high dose, it was 180 milliliters, which usually that's too much. The pharmacist said, well, let me call the doctor just to verify. But it was 7 o'clock at night, so obviously it's closed. So that's another alert, why he's reading at this time when he knows that the doctor's office are closed. Finally, we have a special place where we put, this is not the first time, sometimes we get fake prescriptions and make a copy. So we were trying to check in, and we saw another one that we got in the past with the same handwriting. It was exactly the same, but it was a different patient. He said, oh. And it was fake prescription with the doctor and all that information. Probably the doctor exists and the doctor doesn't know anything. Somebody just get the information from the doctor. So this person came to pick up. And then the pharmacist called the police. Well, actually there is a special department that they come, they leave the cards and detective specialists in these fake medications. So at that time she was calling, and then I was trying to hold the person at pickup. Oh yes, your medication is almost ready. I'm gonna grab it or something. And then he was with somebody else outside because he received a phone call, and he just stopped the conversation with me, and he was trying to get out, right? And then he was walking very fast from the aisle where the police came. So probably it was somebody outside calling him, the police is here, get out of the store, right? He was catching in the front, and well, I feel like happy, like, oh, I did something good. But then on the next day, I worked with another pharmacist, and I told the whole story, and she said, Giselle, that is very dangerous. Usually, pharmacists don't want to get involved on these things. So what I learned that day, she said, next time that you see something rare or weird in the prescription, just give it back and say that we don't have it in stock. Because usually these people, they're groups, they're mafia, and they can be, they catch one of them. It is very dangerous for you. They know where you work, they know what time, they know everything, because I'm sure it's not the first time that they come to the store. So since that day, I said, when I see something, even when I just touch the paper, it's like touching a bill. You know that it's fake. When I see something, I have the right to stop that even just on drop off. It doesn't have to go to the pharmacist. I said, we don't have it in stock, or we reached the limit of medications that we can order for this month. So if we order, we'll be here next month. And of course they leave, they want the medication, right? I have a lot of stories, but I think I'm gonna have time. Again, oxycodone is a very, it's a hot medication. Everybody wanna get it for outside. I have a small video, I think I'm gonna just put a minute, very short, to explain you.
I'd usually look for a time of day when there were lots of people at the drug counter. That way the pharmacist would be in a hurry and maybe not notice that my oxy script was for that many pills.
I always try to keep the story straight in my head. So when the pharmacist asks about the large quantity, I say, well, my mom, she has severe rheumatoid arthritis.
Look, actually my age is an advantage. I mean, who's going to suspect anything when a grandfather shows up with a prescription from a pain clinic?
There is a critical moment in the interaction between pharmacist and patient in which a decision must be made. Does this prescription pass the truth test? Are there warning signs that flag this person as a potential abuser or diverter? In that moment of truth, we must evaluate the evidence in front of us, because it's not always who you think. Opioid abuse is a nationwide epidemic. Every 19 minutes, someone dies from an unintentional drug overdose. And when it comes to overdose deaths caused by prescription drugs, nearly 3 out of 4 are caused by painkillers.
Hi, how can I help you?
I would like to show you more, but we're right on the time. And something else I want to add is, again, it's not just fake prescriptions. There are also people that are really addictive to them. So every time that we fill a control medication, especially for anxiety, for example, lorazepam, which is the Ativan or Valium, diazepam, or the Xanax and Prazolam, we have to check the profile and see how often this patient is taking. This kind of medication cannot be filled soon by any reason. And always check back in the profile to see when was filled. Sometimes they go to different stores. The store where I work, the pharmacy where I work is very big, so all the systems from all the stores are in the same computer. But what if they go to another one? So there is a website actually where the pharmacist can check. And as I mentioned the other day, they come with all different kind of stories. Like, for example, I lost my medication, that's the most common. I traveled to California. They pick a very far place. I traveled to California and I left it, or somebody stole it, or the funniest one was my dog ate it, poor dog. But if it's a regular patient and we know what medication and what is this, and there's always an evaluation. But most of the time, I would say 99.8%, we cannot fill the medication when it's too soon. I would like to tell you more, but there's no more time. So it is very interesting job. I really like working in the pharmacy. My coworkers think that I'm crazy because I loved it. It's a lot of pressure. There's not enough hours, never enough hours to enough technicians for all the job that we do. We have to smile, remember all the time. We have to hurry with the customers. They're customers that they're sick, right? All kind of sickness. I had another story, just 1 second. A lady that called and she says, my medication ready. Oh yes, what medication is ready? We have Aricept ready for you. What is this for? It is for the Alzheimer. Oh, my doctor, he doesn't know what he's doing. I don't have Alzheimer. I don't have any problem with that. Why is he filling this medication? Oh, come on, I'm going to talk to my doctor. I'm sorry, what medication is ready? She said, it is Alzheimer. And what is this for? I'm sorry, Aricept. What is this for? For the Alzheimer. Why the doctors prescribe it? She said it like 4 times. Obviously, she has problems with Alzheimer. So very patiently, we have to try to cut the conversation and finish it, and without being disrespectful, right? It is a hard job, but I like it. Thank you.